Welcome to Your Care, Your Choice, a podcast by Community Nurse. Over the past 100 years, we've prided ourselves on continually evolving by developing new and exciting initiatives to better serve you and your families. This podcast is one of the more recent examples. I am your host, Dr. Todd Hayes, physical therapist. Now, many of you have heard of the Council on Aging out there, and some of you may have attended some of the programs. The Council on Aging is a nonprofit organization that advocates for older adults and provides various services to support their independence and well-being. The first Council on Aging was established in 1950, and since then, many councils have been formed across the United States to address the needs of seniors in their community. For this episode, we've invited Martha Reed from the Fairhaven Council on Aging to discuss with us some of the great things the council has to offer. Welcome, Martha. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So to start off, can you please explain to our watchers and listeners what the overall mission of the Council on Aging is? Why do they exist?
So we are here to advocate for the needs of the older adults in our community. So we look for unmet needs, gaps in services, or programs that help educate and bring older Americans and older adults up to speed. And we do that through talking to people, observation when things are cut at a national level, how it trickles down to the local level, and how we can meet those needs. So food insecurity, or the need to unwind what is Medicare and why do I have to have Medicare? What's the best plan out there? It's a lot of information. It changes every year. So we look for ways to make that a little less anxiety-ridden, if you will.
Yeah, those are tough things for our seniors to deal with.
It really
right? It's
is.
an ever-changing world. And for a lot of them with technology and just the complicated healthcare system we have, I'm sure there's a lot of needs that you guys fill.
It's incredible. Technology is a big thing. So we have had computer classes at the COA for years. We start out teaching on laptops to try to kind of alleviate that fear, that tension. Technology can be a little scary. A lot of our folks did not work in the field where technology was a thing, or they weren't exposed to it until later in life. So
I talk to my patients all the time that my first computer was in 4th grade.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
And for a lot of these folks, they weren't exposed to these kinds of things.
No.
Some never. Right, depending on their jobs and what they did in their social life.
Absolutely. And we have a great number of older seniors in our community that were homemakers, so they never were in the workforce to really be exposed to this kind of stuff. And now there's this huge push for everything to be online. And two-factor authentication is a thing, and that's scary. That's scary to me. Like, I can barely, oh God, where's my phone? Do I have my security code?
I can't pay half of my bills without resetting my password 3 times.
Exactly.
Right? And then it doesn't work right.
Noticing that that's becoming this digital divide, if you will, we sought funding to kind of increase and bolster our program. So we now offer more a la carte classes. Like we do a whole training on Epic and MyChart, so that when you need your health records, you are able to access them. And
that's huge.
It is huge because, it's gone are the days where you carry around a Ziploc bag of your medications to every doctor's appointment.
Right.
So you can very easily see all your meds in one place. You can see all of your procedures, all of your providers. But if you are not able to put that app on your phone or on your tablet or access it, it's scary. So we look to see the problem, and adapt a program to fit it. So we partnered with Coastline and Senior University, which is a tech-based program, to bring that to the COA, to try to help.
That's excellent. And that kind of speaks to how individual each of the Council on Agings are, right? I mean, it's not one uniform group. These are individual locations with people there to support the specific needs of that community.
Correct. So in Massachusetts, you can get services from any Council on Aging. So just because I live in Acushnet doesn't mean that I have to stay with the Acushnet Council on Aging. I can come to Fairhaven, I can go to New Bedford, I can go to Dartmouth.
I wasn't fully aware of that. That's excellent.
So it's a nice way to, sometimes I think you have to find the best fit for you. So if you are looking for a chair yoga class, maybe you're more comfortable with this instructor in Fairhaven than you are with the woman that does it in Acushnet, or maybe Acushnet has Zumba now, and we don't have Zumba right now. So I think it just kind of fits the need. A lot of times, so every month we put out a newsletter. Ours is the Fairhaven Senior Lifestyle, and we see groups come in and they'll have the newsletter from us, from Dartmouth, from Acushnet, New Bedford, and they kind of like plan their activities. So,
Sure.
this one's having a supper club on this night. This one's doing. In May we have it's Older Americans Month, so we have 2 really big workshops focused on legal needs for elders, which tend to be a little bit different than younger folks. So we have an elder law person. We partnered with the Mass Bar Association. They matched us with an attorney from Westport who's going to come in and do some more general conversation around what are your needs, how do you, like, do I put my house in a trust, all the ins and outs of that I am not a subject matter expert in legal stuff, so we seek the experts, match them up to what we need.
That's excellent. We've had a couple episodes recently where we talked about advocating for seniors
Sure.
legally in civil matters, and we also had someone in to talk to us about setting up wills and healthcare proxies and those kinds of
Right.
things. It's really important
It is,
to
and
get those established.
it really is, and sometimes I think there's we don't like to talk about end of life planning really, and that's imperative. I mean, we're all at some point going to face that. We try to do it in a way that's, here's the information you need, but we're going to kind of wrap it up in a little bit of a not so scary
Yeah.
situation.
It's unfortunate how many people try to avoid even
Absolutely.
thinking about the only inevitability we have in
Right.
life, right?
Right.
And a lot of times that can make for a very traumatic situation towards the end.
It is, especially if you have never spoken with that about in your family or not, or your close circle doesn't understand what your needs are. So we try to do a little bit of things that give people some options, that it's not so scary. It's not so, especially when we deal with folks, especially we have an older senior population. So a lot of our folks are over the age of 80. And as you get older, you see your circle of friends starts to kind of dissipate, and we're left with memories. And it's so hard and difficult it's hard to make a friend when you're 80 years old. You know, you've grown up, and especially in this community, everyone knows each other for life. I mean, it's just, it's really gratifying to see how strong these bonds are between folks that have known each other since they were kids, and now they're in their 80s, and they've gone through every milestone in life together, and now the final milestone is the hardest. So we try to be sensitive to those needs. We have, we partner with community groups to offer bereavement counseling and grief groups.
Excellent.
And anything we can do to try to take some of the hurt away, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and I think for this generation that we're talking about, these were people who did a lot of socializing. They were members of clubs, right? They went out weekly to visit with each other, and this physical isolation can be profound.
It's hard, and we're still, it's 5 years after COVID, and I think the 2 biggest populations affected were young kids and the elderly, because they were so used to socialization. So I had to fight. So I started at the COA in 2022, and we slowly brought back live programming, if you will.
Sure.
Very slowly, because
That's
everyone
excellent.
was socially isolated, and we're still very sensitive if somebody comes in and they're exhibiting respiratory symptoms. We try to mask and do what we need to do to keep things going. But they did not want to hear anything about education. They just wanted to socialize with their friends. I will come to supper club. I am not going to that lecture on wills and estates.
Right.
Not doing it.
Get the cribbage board out.
Exactly.
Let's play some backgammon or something.
Yeah, exactly. It was
Canasta.
more. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's they want to. They're an amazing population of people to work with. They all have so many hidden talents and treasures and gifts that they share with us. So it's really a good day. We have a good day most days.
One of my favorite parts of what I do is getting to meet all of these folks and hearing about their life and,
Sure.
and what they're looking to do going forward and a lot of the amazing things they've done before. And they're very willing to share if you give them a moment.
Absolutely. And that's a lot of the times it's just, tell me a little bit about that. When you were in your 20s or your 30s, what kind of things did you do? And a lot of people are like, well, I was raising my kids and I was doing this. And they have such stories and such vivid, they've led incredible lives. And every single person I've met, it has a different story to tell. And we want people to share that. And so we look to be a welcoming place at the COA for people to come and share their stories and partake in things. So it's good.
So on your website,
Okay.
you would describe the website describes three basic categories of the programs, of the things that you offer there. Right?
Sure.
Services, programs, and nutrition.
Yep.
So you talked a little bit about the services,
So
right, and some of the programs.
Yep. So we can talk about nutrition. So we have the Fairhaven Council on Aging also serves as the Meals on Wheels site for all of Fairhaven. So they serve about 140 meals a day out of our kitchen.
Yikes.
So it's busy. It's very
That's a lot.
bustling. If you ever have
That's a
the
lot.
opportunity, come by in the morning. You can see the whole operation. It's quite something. But every day we offer the same meal that's served to the community in a congregate setting at the COA for a voluntary donation of $3. It's voluntary, so the cost never. It's up to you whether you pay it or not, and you're paying for someone else's meal going forward. That's what they like to say. So we offer, and that's a nutritionally sound meal for our members in the community that are getting those home delivered meals. Oftentimes, that's the only person they see during the day is the person that's dropping off their meal.
They
And they're
usually
doing
know
kind
them
of
by name.
Absolutely. And the meals themselves obviously tick off all of the required nutrition for a day, but it's more important. It really, food is the impetus of really branching out to other things. Are you okay today? You get to know, the route drivers will say they get to know their clients very well. So if Joe doesn't answer the door,
What's
we're
going
going to
on?
call, yeah. Or Joe answers and he's kind of not quite how he usually is. We can, the drivers can call it in and either have somebody come by, check them out, or at least it's reported. So that
It's good to sort of have a wellness check.
It is, absolutely.
Right, almost every day for these folks.
Absolutely. And they serve meals Monday through Friday. So, and then if you're on the weekend, they give you 2 cold meals to heat up during the weekend. So
that's excellent.
Really, it's tailored to your specific needs. So if you have a dietary restriction, if you're a diabetic, they tailor the meal to the client's
So
needs.
there's some variability there. Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Are there any other programs that you have running right now?
So if today's Tuesday, and Tuesday is a busy day at the COA, so we have Mahjong going on, we have our social day program going on. Today's April 15th, tax day, and we have AARP at our office doing taxes for seniors. So it's a very bustling place on a Tuesday. We offer, talking about wellness, we have a community nurse comes over every Thursday and does a blood pressure clinic. And it's beyond a blood pressure clinic. It's really a community nurse that comes in and if you have, I have this weird, I saw this spot on my hand. Can you check it out? So sometimes
Absolutely.
It's nice to have the access to a healthcare professional that can say, you know what, that's just, some hydrocortisone will do the trick, but because there's sometimes a long wait to see your primary care doctor or urgent care, you're going to be there for hours.
Right.
So it does help eliminate some of that, using the emergency room as your primary care.
It's frustrating because you call almost any doctor's office and you're hitting a phone tree right off the bat.
Absolutely. And
right?
my folks don't like phone trees.
No.
They want a live person answering that phone. And
Yes,
sometimes
please.
I can't help that.
I have yelled, give me a human into the phone quite a few times in my life.
I think we all have.
Please
or
just give me the human. Please give me the human.
Hitting 0 on the pad. Yeah, we've all done that. But,
Your 4 categories don't match my needs.
Yes, exactly.
I'm in
I don't
between,
know.
of course.
Yes. Please just get me to a live person. So it really does help kind of facilitate. Somebody from the medical profession took your blood pressure today. You had a conversation. So there's a comfort level. And we have people that religiously come by on Thursdays just for their blood pressure.
And that's something that is not well known, not well tracked. right? There's no way to really quantify that interaction that's going on there.
We can tell you
But-
how many people came to the clinic. We
Yeah.
can't tell you what the end benefit was. And that's frustrating sometimes.
Sure.
So we do try to kind of circle back. We have, and if we notice somebody all of a sudden doesn't come into the COA and we haven't seen them in a while, like Nancy Drew, we're going to make some phone calls and figure out, are you okay? Is there something going on? Maybe you just went on vacation, but we don't track our people. We just, if someone has been coming every Thursday and now they haven't been there in 3 weeks, it does kind of raise a red flag to us. And
I would bet.
Thankfully, we do have contact information and we can reach out. So it's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Because, again, you talk about how as they go later in life, their friends pass on.
Yeah.
And they become more isolated. But, I mean, a lot of these folks don't have much family around, right? Their family's all spread out.
So there's a fancy term, they call that solo agers.
Oh, I see a lot of those.
Me too.
I see a lot of those.
I think someday I'm going to be a solo
Yes, it makes me
ager,
very
so-
nervous.
But we look to be, again, it's you're coming in and maybe you look at it as a socialization type of center. But at the same time, we get to know people. So, and that's probably the best part of my job is I make a lot of friends.
Yep.
The sad part of my job is I lose a lot of those friends, but I'm enriched by it. So it's okay.
Well, so are they.
Yeah, I think
Right.
so.
So there's an honor and a beauty to
Yes.
working with people in their last stage of life.
There is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Again, it's a scary thing.
It
People don't
is.
like talking about it. So when they have a friend or an advocate that they can talk to and help them through the process,
Exactly.
it's again one of those unquantifiable things that you do.
So you may come to my office because you need to fill out a SNAP application or a fuel assistance application, or there's an issue with your benefits, or you need to help resetting a PIN number on your EBT card or something. But it's more than just like okay, you're here. It's not more. It's more than just a transactional relationship.
Right.
We get to know people. How are your grandchildren doing? Or it's just it's nice. It's I don't know how to quite describe that, but it's I spend more time with people than I do on my paperwork, which is why I'm often at the office
bless you.
late. So, but it's good. We also have a supportive day program that runs Monday through Friday, and that is to help people that it's more of a respite program for caregivers, so they know that their person with memory issues is safe for the day. So
Excellent.
it's staffed 8-to-1 ratio. They're served breakfast, lunch, snacks. We have current events that go on there. We do entertainment. Music is huge for people with memory care issues, so we at least have entertainment once a week to come in and offer that to the clients that are there. But for those 6 hours that your person is there at our center, your caregiver can go shopping, get their hair done, just take a break, because that's full on.
Caregiver burnout is real.
It is real. So think everybody can suffer from compassion fatigue, I think they call it, and we're able to offer that program. So it's good.
Yeah, that's a robust situation you have going on over there.
We do. We have a lot of fun. Come by anytime. Just visit.
I'd love to. Well, I used to I frequent the Council on Aging's in the area, primarily for the equipment closet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, so there's another unmet need. So people's insurances have changed significantly since COVID. So if you were being released from a rehab facility or a nursing facility back to home after you had maybe a knee replacement or a hip replacement, your social worker or your OT person came in, did a home evaluation, and said, okay, you need a walker, you need a shower chair, you need this, and some is covered, some is not. So we have somebody coming in next week to talk about durable medical equipment and what's covered now, what's not. So we are very blessed because we have a very generous community that when they're done with a walker or a rollator or a wheelchair, they will say, hey, do you have a need? We'll donate it. So we'll take it and then it gets loaned right back out. We sometimes have a waiting list, certain items, wheelchairs or transport chairs are the biggest waiting list item. Because people aren't able to access that stuff as easy as prior to COVID. I don't know.
A lot of these folks are on fixed incomes.
Correct. And they don't, for you or I, if I need a walker or a wheelchair, or my parents or my mom needs a walker or a rollator or something, often we'll just go on Amazon, pick it up, it gets delivered, life is good in the hood.
2 days.
But now I don't have $89. I don't
Right.
have $50. So if we have it, you're more than welcome to take it. We also work in tandem with Acushnet in New Bedford with the Fresh Start program, which has a warehouse in New Bedford, so hospital beds, bigger Hoya lifts, bigger items that we don't have space for physically at the COA.
It's an equipment closet.
It is.
Not
It's not. We
equipment
file it for a
warehouse.
durable medical showroom some days. I feel like a used car salesman. I'm like, could we get the commodes out of here?
I always love to spend a few minutes in there because sometimes the staff isn't fully aware of even what they have or.
We have a bucket of like gait belts and sock aids and hip kits and you name it, we have it. I mean, it's usually, we can find it. And if we can't, we can call Fresh Start and see if they have it in stock. So we try not to, nope, sorry, we don't have it. Have a nice day. We try to solve the problem. And I'm blessed because I have this awesome and amazing staff that also doesn't just take the phone call, say no, and move on. We try to at least, if we can't solve the problem, we'll at least give you a referral to somebody that might be able to, or we'll do some back end work, make some phone calls on your behalf to try to facilitate.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Excellent. Excellent. So you have a lot of programs going on over there.
Yes.
What does someone want to do, or how does someone go about helping out? Like what if people want to contribute either
you wanna
their
volunteer,
time
sure.
or
So
finances?
we are blessed with donations. We have a donation box on our counter. People are very generous in this community. So oftentimes, and I'll say this all the time, like we'll sit there and go, if only I had $500, we could do this. And then I'm telling you, more times than not, within a day or two, somebody like the money appears or the item appears. Or we had, for instance, somebody needed a Hoya lift situation, but didn't quite need the whole Hoya lift situation. They needed more of a Hoya lift is very big, so it wouldn't fit. It is hard to use, and their bath, the where they needed the space was too small, and so we were looking, and there was like a $500 more slimlined Hoya lift situation. It was a very interesting piece of equipment. And I said, well, that'd be great, but we don't have $500. We're not going to buy this for them. 2 days later, we got a phone call. We have this thing. We bought it. We can't use it. It doesn't fit. And it was the automatic Hoya lift thing. It was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So we were able to kind of call the person that was in need of it and facilitate that by the end of the week. It was just weird, but that happens all the time there. Like I'm not going to complain, and whatever higher power oversees that stuff, I'm good with. So
that's going to be fulfilling though when you can,
weird.
meet a need like that, and kind of almost coincidentally,
Yeah, we have two community holiday meals every year. We have Easter and Thanksgiving. So years ago, before I got there, a very generous community member donated the funds to have the Easter dinners and the Thanksgiving dinners. And that person passed away a few years ago. But we've been able to continue that because, again, our collaborators in the community see the need. And they're like, are you having Easter dinner? I'm like, well, we don't know. And then we got a donation from a local charity that said, here you go. You can use this money
That's awesome.
It's unrestricted. So
That's
we're
great.
able to pay for our dinners. So again, in the fire department, like a lot of times they'll step in, the local union. What do you need, Martha? You need $300 to get the dinners? Here you go. Like
that's nice.
It's really amazing. We have Fairhaven is an unbelievable community. It really is.
You're keeping more than just the senior community connected.
We keep everybody connected if we can.
Is there one message you want to leave with our folks about the Council on Aging, above anything?
Sure. So you don't know what you don't know. And there's no handbook for when you turn 65. All of a sudden, this mail appears about 6 months before you turn 65 that you must enroll in Medicare. Well, that's great, but more, please. Like, what is all this? So we're fortunate that we have Shine counselors that can help you through the Medicare process. They're certified by the state every year on the new plans and everything. They'll come in, customize it to your needs. If you have a need, if you have, no question is stupid. If you are thinking it, someone else has already asked it. If we don't have the resource, we'll find out what the resource is that you need and try to connect you to it. Pick up the phone, call us. We're happy to help anybody. Sometimes it's not the person that's aging. It could be a child. Adult children there's this role reversal that seems to be happening sometimes where
Absolutely.
your parents, suddenly you're your parent's parent or you're your parent's guardian because of memory care issues or physical issues, call us. We're happy to kind of point you in the right direction or at least give you a referral to somebody that can help you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like we're the best non-secret secret in the town. Like,
It's amazing to me, even in the senior population, how
Sure.
few people think to reach out to the Council on Aging,
Right.
even if they know that it exists.
so we're doing, we will go into like the senior housing, and we have good relations with all the senior housing, the nursing homes in the town, to let people know that here's what we have to offer. We have transportation services available Monday through Friday from 9 to about 12:30, 1 o'clock. You want to come to lunch, but you don't have a ride? We'll come pick you up, take you to lunch, and bring you home again.
That's
so
awesome.
It's really good.
And you get to see some people,
And you get to see some people.
other than the news.
Correct. Yes, please.
Do you have the news going 24/7?
No, we don't.
Good idea.
No.
Good idea.
So that's it.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The local Council on Aging is an amazing resource to our communities. Their programs do not just impact our seniors, but they benefit all of us. We've talked about some of the services and programs they have to offer, but every Council on Aging is its own standalone entity. Be sure to stop by and check out what's going on at your local senior center. You may be surprised at what you find. Even if you don't utilize the programs yourself, you may promote the programs to seniors in your social circle, or you may donate your time or financial resources to further enhance the great work they do over there. All right, well, that was great fun, Miss Reed. Thank you for the excellent info. And remember, when it's time to choose a home care provider, choose Community Nurse, and we'll get you through. And as always, let us know how you liked the episode by leaving comments where available. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn. We also release an audio program you can find anywhere you download your podcasts. So thank you for joining us on Your Care, Your Choice. We hope you'll check out our next episode coming soon. So until next time,